Give it up for Leon.
In the building, in the building. Don't get all conceited with me now. You know, you give it up and have a good time. Now we here, you're already here now. You got up this morning, took your morning shit, everything happened, right? You ate breakfast, right? You all good now.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
You know what, I'm a country boy, man. I had a little grits, and I sauteed some damn shrimp. You know what I mean?
So this is a breakfast you made yourself.
You know a saute guy? Huh?
Not a saute.
Like that.
Do you flip?
No, you don't flip.
You don't flip?
No, you burn yourself. You want to burn yourself? Huh?
No. You're just sauteing, a little oil, it's burning up.
Do a little grease burn like that. No.
Catch it?
See, when you sauteing stuff, it has a tendency to get on the flames, which causes a fire. You're gonna burn your damn little apartment down. Keep playing around.
How do you know I live in a little apartment? Is it
You in New
obvious
York
it
City,
doesn't pay
baby.
well?
I know you live in a little ass apartment. You a minimalizer. You those guys, everybody there's got a little bit of stuff. You got a little bit of stuff. I got a lot of stuff.
Constantly
See, I got
getting
5 layers on right now. I got a lot of shit.
You got suspenders on.
Yeah, damn right I do. And the massive
that.
belts. Look at this shit. I don't play around, Playboy. See this? Or this is like handcrafted stuff. Look at it. Even the bracelet matches. Come on now. I don't play around, man. See, you got a little bit of stuff. I got a whole lot of stuff. See?
Where did the idea for...
You got a studio apartment, don't you? You got a studio.
Nope.
1 bedroom. Used to be a studio. You put a
No,
wall
it's
up.
actually... There's a walk-in kitchen, there's a dining room, a living room, a bedroom, and an office in it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And what do your 4 roommates think about that?
Just my fiance and me.
Can't catch me. Can't catch my ass, can you?
But I live deep into Brooklyn.
Yeah, you got to go deep to get that kind of
live
apartment.
deep.
Now you get your ass beat going to work every day, but it's a big apartment though. It's good.
Polish immigrant community in
You
my
got to deal with
neighborhood
certain
kicks my
things.
ass.
You know, do certain things.
Jimmy, let's talk about Leon.
This guy right here. Oh, look at this dude, man.
What prompted you to write a book in the voice of Leon?
You know what, man? You know, after I spilled the beans and I told everybody Curb was coming back, Larry had to come back. So to coincide with the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, at first I was going to do a J.B. Smoove book because I felt like I got a lot to say, a lot of fun things that happened to me in my life that led me to being, you know, an actor and a comedian and all the good things I do with the Boys and Girls Club and all the fun things that I do. And then I said, you know what, Curb is coming back. Why don't I just do a Leon book? But I didn't think I could do it. I said, I can't do it. You know, I don't own the character. It's just a character I play on TV, so you know, HBO owns the character. So I was.
You're so good. Sorry, you're so good at that character. It does feel like, to a degree, you do have a fair amount of ownership over that character.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't make money off the character without their permission.
Yeah.
You know, and a book, you know, if a million people buy the book and HBO doesn't get a penny of it, it looks bad. So just for that purpose, I had to get the approval to do the book. But at the same time, you know, I got on set and I wasn't sure I could do it or not. So I was on set talking to Larry in between scenes. And I said, you know, I'm doing this book. He said, yeah, I heard. I said, man, it's fun. I'm having a good time writing it. And then he said, you know what? You know, Larry goes, you know, you should do a Leon book. I said, you know what, Larry? That's what I was thinking about in the very beginning, but I wasn't sure I could do it because I don't own the character. He said, no, you can do it. I said, yeah, have fun, do it. He said, people will love it. I said, okay. So I went back, scrapped everything I had already wrote, all my ideas, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna write it as a Leon, in Leon's voice, and like how Leon speaks to Larry. I wanted to be an authentic Leon book, first author feel like Leon really wrote this book and sat down and emptied his brain and wrote it. So,
How much of you, when you scrapped all the material that you had originally written as J.B. Smoove, how much of that tone and that voice feels similar sometimes? The voice of Leon versus the voice of J.B. Smoove.
I always say this. There's a lot of Leon in J.B., but there's no J.B. in Leon. Leon just can't dress like this. He can't carry himself. He has no manners. There's a lot of things Leon can't do that J.B. does in his normal life. So I say it's like that. A lot of Leon and J.B. Everybody has a little Leon. And everybody needs a little Leon in them. You know, you take Leon to fight a ticket. You take Leon to break up with your girlfriend so he can fool around with her after. You know, all those things. But, you know, he's a certain animal. He's a certain kind of guy. And I think everybody should have a little bit of this guy in there, just in case something go down and you need to fuck somebody up. Or, you know, you need a dude like this, even if he's your friend, just to tell you that good, bad advice. And that's what this book does. It'll give you good, bad advice. The same advice I give Larry on the set, this book is speaking in the voice of, I'm talking to you like I talk to Larry.
Well, Leon's really become over the course of the past 3 or 4 seasons since he's come on the show. He's really become one of the sort of angels or devils on Larry's shoulder all the time. Larry goes home, Leon's there. What's going on, Larry? Larry tells him the problem, and Leon makes it worse.
Yeah, right. You know what's been funny, man? I always said it because everybody would complain about how they never got a scene with Leon and Larry. They call Larry the Hog. Larry the Hog because Larry never shares me with anybody else. So I always said that it would have been funny if Leon didn't even exist and he was like the snuffleupagus. like he's just a dude in his head who tells him advice, who he says lives in his house, but no one's ever seen Leon but him, But I think that's what makes this show, the relationship between the two characters genuine. No one really knows, this guy's background. We don't know where he came from. All we know is he showed up at Larry's door. And
he wasn't even from New Orleans.
No,
right?
he was. No.
The original Black family, they were rescued from New Orleans and sponsored by Cheryl and Larry. And Leon showed up. He's like a cousin of a cousin or something.
This
like
dude
that, right?
lived in L.A. He just heard his family had to come up, so he came over there, just to show love. But I always believe in this though. I always believe that, whether it's Leon or whether it's your own life, you always take a friend, you take a job. You take stuff all the time. You got to have that mindset in your head that you could take anything you want. And I truly believe that personalities come in and they just have a certain direction to them, a certain things, a lot of things they've been through that allows them to relate to you or not relate to you. But I think the yin and yang of Larry and Leon, it works because Larry comes up with some crazy stuff. Way more extreme than Leon to me.
Really?
Leon just navigates through what Larry's bullshit. Larry comes to Leon with some crazy stuff. And Leon gotta be like, what? You did what? That's not how you do it, man. You do this. And believe me, Larry is extreme, man. This season, Larry is going crazy this season. He needs this dude to corral his ass and bring him back down to earth, because some things you can't get away with. But I think his good, bad advice, the things he tells Larry, I think it works. It works on camera. It also works, in our normal life too, It's not like we just work together, I do call Larry once in a while and check on his ass, If I'm in his neighborhood by his office, he got a damn office. This man don't do shit in that office, I'm telling you. I'm guaranteeing you. You walk in that office, he start moving papers around like, you're that damn rich, you don't got to do a goddamn thing.
That's what I've always thought about Larry.
I bet Larry hasn't even touched his Curb Your Enthusiasm money. He's still spending Seinfeld money. Larry, I call him Larry Loaded. Yeah. That's a good name, Larry Loaded. I like that name.
Loaded Larry, or Larry Loaded.
Larry Loaded sounds better. Larry
Loaded sounds better.
Larry Loaded sounds better.
You guys kind of have like a comedy dynamic off screen as well. You've turned into a sort of, when you go out together, it's almost like this duo happens naturally, right?
Let me tell you something. We went to what premiere was that for a movie? We went to, what movie? We went to a movie premiere, that the Farley brothers were having, and I parked my car in the underground garage on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm parking my car, my wife out the car, and then I see Larry's little Prius pull up. He drive that little punk ass car. He pull up that goddamn Prius, and I said, "Oh, you really do drive a Prius, huh? Not just on the show, you drive a little Prius in real life too, And I know the color of his car, so I knew it was him. He pulls up, hey, look who's here, right? And we started walking together to the premiere. It was like a good block and a half. When I tell you, you would have thought it was the freaking Rose Bowl parade, man. People are like, these two dudes really walk together and hang out together? It was so damn funny of us walking down the street together. It just looked so crazy and so funny. But, we do, we do check on each other here and there. I'll check on him all the time. If I'm near his office, I'll go by his office. Hell, I invited Larry to my 50th birthday party, man. It was bananas, man. And sometimes you want to have, in your 50th birthday party, got to be big. So if anybody in here is turning 50, you 50? You're 60, you old motherfucker. Hey, look, when you turned 50, did you have it was a big party?
60 was bigger.
It was bigger than your 50? No, 50 is always bigger than your 60, man. Oh.
Half a century.
That's the best. That's what you got to do to half a century party. 60 is an odd number. That's a weird number. That's a weird-ass number. But, to each his own. You fucked up. To each his own. You had your chance. But you're around till 60, so that's still good. Shit, you're still doing good. So I had this big party. So, I invited Larry to my party. you know, the first time I didn't think he would come. But he said, hey, I'm going to come. Hey, yeah, I'm going to come. Larry came, Jeff came. It was like 350 people there. The party was beautiful. You know, I invited Larry. Larry shows up early as hell. Like, you know, I call it white man early. He showed up white man early. I said, Larry, why you so goddamn early to my party, man? Larry was the first one there. Now, I'm up now. I had it in the SLS Hotel in Hollywood. So I'm up in my room. I had a party planner. You know, you get a party planner. They plan it all out. You stay in your room, and I'll tell you when to come down. When the party is popping, I want you to do your grand entrance. Larry didn't know nothing about that kind of stuff. I don't think Larry ever been to a real birthday party in his whole life. You know, he might have little events at his house, little get-together, little hors d'oeuvres and shit like that, but he never had no real party. Let me tell you something, man. I'm upstairs in my room, the phone ring. Larry calls my goddamn room. Hey, man, hey, what's going on? I said, what do you fucking mean what's going on? I'm in my goddamn hotel room getting dressed for my party. Why aren't you down here? I said, Larry, you know how early it is right now? Why would you come this early to anybody's birthday party? My friend, my guy took the phone. Yeah, man, I just got the phone back from Larry. Hey, man, Larry early as hell, man. Larry could have been setting the party up, but he's so fucking early. I said, you tell Larry, and this is how we do in real life. You don't think it's just on camera, these two guys, but Larry and JB really go through it sometimes. I said, Larry, God damn it, look, man, I told my guy, you tell Larry, I'm coming down to make a grand entrance, and that's how black people do it, God damn it. You tell him that, exactly. So I finished getting dressed. My party planner calls me, come on downstairs, JB. I said, okay, it's popping? She said, yeah, it's popping. We got the tape ready. I mean, I had this party laid out, man. I had an Obama impersonator. He did it was freaking crazy, man. So my buddy Reggie, he's an Obama impersonator. He did a full little, just say happy birthday. He did a video. It was freaking hilarious. You know, Sasha and Michelle and everybody wish you happy birthday. It was so amazing. I had Michael Buffer also do my grand entrance. Michael Buffer did a video, and he did it a full Michael Buffer like he's doing a fight. You ready for the extravaganza? He did the whole thing, man. And see, you gotta pay. A lot of people don't know this shit, but you gotta pay his ass to say his real one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you gotta pay for that shit. But if you change the words around, you do that shit for free. You know. So.
You just can't do Are You Ready to Rumble?
Oh,
right?
we can't do that. You gotta pay that. You gotta pay for that shit. That's expensive.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of goddamn money. So.
Imagine that if you have one phrase and you can get paid so much just to show up and say that.
You know how many phrases I wish I would have coined? I wish a few of them would have. I could have. I should have kept a few of them. I didn't think about it back then. But check it out. So I come downstairs.
You got step out of that ass in here, right? I mean, that's a good phrase.
I can still use that one, but you know, it looks good. It looks good on a T-shirt. Right. But you know,
you can't say it before.
I don't want to show up the birthday
like
parties
$1 billion
and shit.
fight.
This little boy's about to get in that ass. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I come downstairs, and then my party planner plays the Michael Buffer. You know, you've seen him on, Curb Your Enthusiasm, TV and film. Let's give it up for the birthday boy, JB. I came to the party dancing. My wife and I came to the party, man. It was a classic man, burlesque casino party. So everybody was dressed in classic man style. I had an old car parked in front of the party. Man, I had burlesque dancers dancing around. You know, it was so cool. I'm walking to the stage, my wife and I, who's right on my coattails with his fucking hands in his pockets. When his little Larry David Stroll, he's walking behind me the whole time like this. Everybody's laughing and shit. Everybody's like, I'm like, what the fuck is everybody laughing at? Larry's right on my ass, right? I walk on stage, I help my wife on stage, he's right, I see him, I looked at him, I said, oh shit, fucking Larry. He walks on stage with me, grabs the microphone too. I said, quiet everybody down. I don't understand, why are you so late? So fucking me, I'm late.
This is in front of everybody.
Right at my birthday party, right on stage.
In front of everybody.
350 people are looking and laughing their asses off, like, because this is a moment. I said, what the fuck you mean, Larry? We had a full discussion on stage, just like on Curb. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm late for my own party. I said, why would I be the first one at my fucking party and sit here depressed, wondering if anybody gonna show up? I said, in my room, I got a party planner right there who coordinated this whole thing, Larry. This is an extravaganza. I don't know if you've ever been to a fucking extravaganza before, Larry, but this is an extravaganza. I was like, you're very late. You're just very late. You're very late, for your own birthday party. You're fashion. You look good. You're fashionably late for your own birthday party. So I'm not late, Larry. This is how the fuck black people do it, goddammit. This is a black party, Larry. So I said, you didn't read the back of the flyer? It was a back to the flyer. You didn't read the back of the flyer? The back of the flyer said, I'm going to come downstairs when I fucking feel like it. He said, I didn't see the back of the flyer. I mean, it wasn't the back of the flyer. I just made that shit up. So he said, I didn't read the back of the flyer. I said, okay, man. So we good, man. I said, that's how it is. I said, well, black people come down when the fuck they feel like it. And Larry said, okay. But, Jews leave early. And he said, so long, and he walks off stage, right? People are going crazy. I said, God damn you, Larry! I said, man, you are not gonna leave here with all my friends in this goddamn room. My mama's here, Larry, my mama right there. You are not gonna leave this room after I spend all this fucking money on this goddamn party without telling me if the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm is gonna happen or not. I said, everybody wants to know. It got quiet. Larry grabbed the microphone. He said, yeah, it's coming back. But you get killed off in the second episode. I said, touche, motherfucker, touche.
It's an amazing story. I love that story. That is so funny. So you and Larry, I mean, outside of being on camera, even when you're JB, you guys have a sort of comic dynamic all the time.
Well, not all the time. Like if I start shit with him, I can get him going a little bit.
Right.
I'll come and just start shit. I just walk in the room, fuck with his jacket, fuck with his shoes. I say, well, Larry, man, let's go shopping together. Maybe I'll buy you some new shoes. I'm not even gonna afford new sneakers, but you wear the same fucking sneakers all the time, Larry. It's enough with those fucking sneakers. I'm tired of them goddamn sneakers. That's probably why he's so rich, because he don't spend money on frivolous shit. Right. But I
Prius
think
and old New Balance.
He's just a personality, man. I think we're just two fun personalities in our own way. I think sometimes the stars just align, man. Yeah. And you can't push that. It's just got to happen naturally, how it's going to happen. From the time I met Larry, I think, it was just, I think you just go through these things where sometimes you got to go down and go up sometimes. So, I was at SNL as a writer. I didn't get renewed my fourth season on SNL. My wife told me I would be on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I said, I love this show. We were watching the show. I said, I love this show. I would love to be on this show one day. And she said, you're going to be on that show. You say crazy stuff all the time. I think you and Larry would be funny together. And we're just sitting on the couch watching the show as fans. I fucking love this show. I couldn't stop talking about it. We would talk about it at SNL when we would go to work. We would talk about it. The writers would talk about what happened last night on Curb. I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. Love this show. All these things had to happen, I think, but that's things you can't push things, man. You can't step on toes. You can't burn bridges, man. You just got to leave your mind and open to the universe and allow things to come in the right form. That way you're prepared for it. I took an improv class when I first started doing stand-up. So I think all these things kind of lined themselves up in some way.
But if you're also doing stand-up, you have a sense of how to respond to an audience, how to respond to a situation, a scene,
And I always have performed in that manner. I always take each audience as their own time with you on stage. You know what I mean? I feel like, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible robot. That's why you never see me doing 3 minutes on late night, because I can never stick to what I told them I would do. I'll do too much time. I'll walk off stage. I do dumb stuff because I feel like I'm performing for the moment as opposed to telling you exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I think that's the most fun, because a lot of those things you can't repeat. Some things are going to happen one time and one time only, and I feel like that's the fun part about being a stand-up. Some guys do perform like that. Some guys are political comedians. Some guys just perform a certain routine over and over again. I just can't do it. I feel like, I listen to what the audience is laughing at, and that's what I change. I'll change in mid-flow exactly what I'm going to do for that whole show, because I feel like this audience wants to hear this kind of joke. This audience wants to hear this, so I'm going to give them more of that. Mm-hmm. I can't repeat it again. I can't do it next show because I don't know what that audience is going to want to hear. But I think that's the best way I know how to perform, and I think that works for Curb, that works for the book, it works for everything that I have done, and
Do you feel like, when you first signed on to do Leon and you auditioned, you got the job? Leon, I imagine, was meant to be just there for that season. The blacks were just there for that season. But then Leon the character sort of took on a life of its own. It became a kind of iconic member of this show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Everybody loved that dynamic. Was there a sense of that right away that like, oh shit, this character really fits into the sort of the DNA of this show?
I don't know, man. But I do believe.
I don't think Curb could exist anymore without Leon.
Oh man, that's great to hear you say that. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I was a big fan of the show before I got on it. I thought this show couldn't get any better. When I was watching it, I said, "This is the craziest shit I've ever seen." I love it. Being able to jump on board with the show. I don't know. I have no idea because I do know that was going to be the Blacks season, but I do believe you create your own avenues. I do believe you get in there, you show up early, you stay late. I tell a lot of young people that come early, stay late. Show people what you can do. Give 200% to everything you do, and they'll see it. It's always, I always say this. It's easy to come in at 200% and have someone tell you, you know what, pull back a little bit. Yeah. You know how to pull back a little bit. But if you come in low as hell, and your shit ain't popping, and they say, yo, turn that shit up. You'll turn that shit up so high that now you irritated them. Now you got to come back down again anyway. You went too fucking high, man. No, not that goddamn high. Now you got to come down again. See, I always believe you set your goals, you set your path. And me showing up on Curb Your Enthusiasm, I had no idea if that was going to be a one-time thing. But I acted like that was going to be a lifetime thing. I acted like I'm coming back. Because I believe you got to go in there with the attitude of, I'm going to take this fucking job. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do this on time. I'm going to come on time. I'm going to stay late. I'm going to try to think and really be conscious of what I'm saying and be funny and be relevant and be in character and try to, and what I tend to do when I'm performing is I like to, especially with Curb, because Curb has no script. It just has an outline. So you kind of create your own dialogue. So I would try to give Larry something new he didn't know about Leon every take. No matter what episode it is, always try to give him something new. So that way, at least, the writers have some branches, or some roads, some forks on the road to play with. The more I tell you about this guy, the more you want to write for him. Just take it like even like the first episode. Everybody saw the first episode of Curb, and it was talking about Lampin', right? And that Lampin' story is fucking hilarious because what happened with the Lampin' thing was I had a hat a buddy gave me, my buddy named Jeff, he has a store called Blue and Cream. So it says Lamptons, right? Lamptons on the hat, which is Lampin' in the Hamptons, right? So I wore the hat to Larry's office, and Larry's like, what the fuck is that? I said, Lamptons. You never heard of, I said, you never heard the word Lampin' before? He said, no. Larry never heard of Lampin'. Hell, when we first worked together and we did the getting that ass scene, Larry didn't know what the fuck getting that ass was. He had no idea. He's looking at me like this, right? I could tell he didn't know what the fuck it was. He was like this. The first take, he was like this. Okay. Getting that ass. Okay.
Spray paint on the walls, leave Snicker
when
wrappers.
When they say cut, I said, you don't know what the fuck getting that ass is, do you? Yeah, I never heard it in my life. He didn't know what the fuck getting that ass meant. So that scene is actually accurate. His facial expression is, he didn't know what the fuck it meant. But in the first episode, I said, I think you got to plant these little seeds. Like I said, it was about the constipation thing. And I said, I said, how's she constipated, man? I did a lot of things constipated. I ran a 5K marathon constipated. I did a porno constipated. Like Larry said, you did a porno? Right, but I didn't answer him. See, what that does is I can use that. If we come back again, if we come back 5 more seasons, somewhere in those 5 seasons, it's going to come up.
Leon's porno tape is discovered.
It's going to come up. That shit going to come up because I planted a little seed. I planted that little seed, Yeah. So, and I think that's what you got to do. In improv, you listen, but at the same time, sometimes you ignore and you allow something to happen. So I think that's what happened with my first season on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think we talked about enough stuff. We had a great time. I think it was logical that Larry had to break up with Loretta's character at some point. But I think, I think that's what made all these great avenues to play with, you know. And there's even stuff that you guys will never see, but there's even a scene. I love this scene so much, but he didn't use it. But there's a scene where, remember when she got sick and Larry had to break up with her? And there's a scene where I'm standing, I'm talking to him in the hallway, and I'm praising him. I'm praising this man because he's going to stick by my sister, even through her sickness. She can't have sex with your ass no more. This is amazing, Larry. I respect you as a man. You know, for you to be a man like this and know that you can never get on top of my sister again and make love to her ass and stay with her all this time. And the scene, the camera's supposed to zoom in on Larry's face like, you know, Larry's being Larry, like, oh shit, I gotta get rid of her ass because if I can't have sex with her, there's no sense of me being with her no more, you know? But I'm praising him like, oh man, I really appreciate you staying with my sister. I mean, to live the rest of your life with a dry dick, that must be amazing. And Larry's like this the whole time, like this. He's trying to be deadpan, but he's like got a little twist to his lip, you know, like he wants to laugh, but he's not fucking laughing. And I can hear the people all the writers in the monitor area laughing, like trying to cover up. I did 10 minutes straight of praising him. I was just supposed to say one line, but it was the last take. I just went off. Like I said, they're gonna put a statue of you in the middle of City Hall. You're gonna be butt-ass naked. The rest of your body's gonna be moisturized, and your dick gonna be dry.
How often, Larry David is notorious for not breaking during scenes. How often do you make him laugh?
Larry's the
he's really
worst.
hard to make laugh.
No. Oh, maybe for people who don't know his buttons, or people who just come on and just do guest spots. No, Larry breaks, believe me. Larry fucking breaks, man. Once you get him, and you get him like, it's kind of like rolling a bowling ball like up the hill. You let that shit go, it's gonna come right back. You know what I mean? Larry ass will laugh in a heartbeat, I'm telling you. Once you get him, you know, like, and then sometimes he thinks he figured it out, so he won't laugh because he figured the shit out. He heard it already. But I'll always change it up. I'll give his ass something different. That way, you know, he can have something to play with when he's editing, you know? So I'll try to give him like 3 or 4 options on that shit. I'll change the whole goddamn thing around. You know how many options there are with the get in that ass scene? There must be 5 or 6 different ones. There's one involving lighter fluid and matches, you know, where you get in that ass and you spray lighter fluid all in his ass and you cartoon like that shit like that. That's how cartoon characters like that off the ass like that.
Like that.
Cartoon like that match and you set his asshole on fire. That's like extreme getting that ass. That's getting in the ass. The extreme version, you set his asshole on fire. So there's like 5 versions of that. So I don't know if he ever used that version. I mean, he should use that version. That's a funny ass version. He should put it out on a little blooper reel. But there's one about setting that asshole on fire. And there's like, I don't remember all of them, but because, you know, a lot of times, I'm gonna tell you something funny. A lot of times, you know, improv is a different animal. So for me, the only way I can like concentrate on it is I empty my brain. I just empty my mind. And I gotta go, I don't like reading the outlines. I like getting to the set and ask the writers like Jeff Schaefer and I say, hey man, so what's the deal in this scene? Because if I hear it immediately, I can react to it differently than getting it too early and overthinking it. So I always like to show up and just kind of, you know, empty my mind a little bit and be able to go. And a lot of times I don't even remember some of this shit because it's improv and sometimes you're so caught up. A lot of times I don't even remember what the fuck I said. I watch the episodes and I say, oh shit, I don't remember saying that. You know, I had no idea I said that. You know, and I think that's a fun thing. It's kind of a good thing because I could watch the episodes like I'm hearing shit for the first time. I remember one scene in particular, the one where we were in the store and I was fooling around with some girl and I was talking about how Alton is gonna fuck me and Larry up. You know, I said, and Larry's like, what do you mean you fuck me up? You're the one tapping the ass, not me. You did the tapping. You tapped. I didn't tap anybody. I said, nah, fuck that. You and me are now interlocked together. You are involved with that shit with me. We fucked her. We are fucking Lego. I don't remember saying none of that shit. It's just like, sometimes you get caught up in the moment. It's like being in an argument with your lady, right? You get in a fucking argument, you say all kind of bullshit to her, and she bring that shit up later. Remember you said this, motherfucker? I didn't fucking say that shit. You know?
And then she's like, yeah, you did. And you're like, oh,
You did
shit,
say
I
that
did.
shit. You did say
really
that to
sorry.
me. Oh shit, because ladies don't forget that shit.
Nope.
You said the wrong shit to a lady. She don't forget shit.
Yeah.
You know?
The best thing you can learn in the course of a long-term relationship is to stop saying shit.
Stop saying shit. Don't say shit.
Don't say shit.
Don't say shit.
Let's get some questions from the audience. Who's got a question? Right here.
One of the joys of Curb Your Enthusiasm is the chemistry between yourself and Larry. Was that chemistry apparent when you auditioned for the role?
Definitely was. It very much so. You know, we hit it off in the audition. You know, it was one of those things where when I walked in the room, I didn't say, only word I said to him was, you know, we're gonna improv, cool. I said, anything can happen in this room. You know, I could fuck around and slap you. I don't know what's gonna happen. Anything can happen in this room. It's improv, right, Larry? And Larry just looked at everybody else like what the fuck? And I sat down in a chair, right? And I was supposed to sit down in a chair. He's supposed to call me over, right, for the scene. It's the scene where, you know, with the stained blanket, to come on the blanket, and I'm sitting at the table having breakfast with my family, and he's like, Leon, can I talk to you for a minute? It's that scene. So I'm sitting in the chair like this already, waiting for him to call me over, and everybody's like laughing their asses off, and they're like, I remember Jeff Schaffer telling me, he said, you were the only one who came in the room, and we kind of had an inkling that you were the guy before you even said a word. Because I think the mannerisms of who this guy was, you know, and the fact that I always come into the room as the character. I never come in the room as JB. So we hit it off the very first day on that audition. And then, you know, I went to do a show. I came back. All this stuff had to happen. But then the first day, the next time we taped the show itself, Larry, in between shots, Larry said, you know what? It feels like we've been working together for years. I said, you know what? I said, it does feel like we've known each other for a lifetime. It was really weird, you know, like we had been reincarnated at some point, you know. It's weird how that works sometimes. I think that happens with relationships sometimes, you know, when you meet a lady, you're like, oh shit, I think we met in another life or some shit, you know? So you don't know.
Next question. Oh, sorry.
I grew up watching comics, so this dates me, like Red Fox and LaWanda Page, and just tapes of Lenny Bruce. How do you think comedy has changed since they started?
Oh, you know, comedy is a unique thing, man. I don't think we understand how much we need comedy in this world. I think the comedian, I know the comedian. I know the comedian is the next wave of the news. After the real news, you have the comedian's take on the world, you know. And I think right now everything's so PC right now. I don't think they allow the comedian to be the comedian anymore. I think the comedian has to be very smart in everything he says. He has to put everything on himself as opposed to putting things on other people. You know, everything has to be very direct, very frank. You know, people like to hear your problems funny, but they don't want to hear their problems funny. Even if their problems relate to your problems, you still can't say, hey, you know, you can't do it directly to someone else. But I think we've lost that over the years. I think the freedom that they had, even the freedom I had when I first started doing stand-up. I started doing stand-up in the early 90s. Even before that, I started doing it a little bit here and there. So I've been doing this a long time. My daughter's 23. I quit my day job the day she was born to do stand-up and do comedy.
Shit, what was that like?
It was like this. You'd be surprised what you do and what you can accomplish when you have to do that shit. Right. You know what I mean? I quit that job. I said, the only way I'm going to be able to do this, I got to let that shit go. If I let that job go, it allows something else to come in. And I truly believe that. And that goes with shit, firing agents, firing managers, moving on, knowing things are going to happen a certain way. But you gotta swallow your pride and say, you know what? I'll make this shit happen. I'm going to do what I got to do to make it happen. I think they had the unique luxury of being groundbreakers. When you're a groundbreaker, you have the luxury of being from left field and having fun, and no one's judging you, and not, you know, social media. We got too many things going on now that take away from the trueness of a stand-up. You know, I know I didn't make it to those Radio City shows with Chappelle, but I heard he put phones in bags. You couldn't have your phone out. You know why? That made that room a safe room. You're here to see a show. You're not here to judge. You're here to laugh and take away some of your stress off your body. if that means laughing at other people or laughing at me, you know, you mean to tell me you can laugh at my problems and enjoy your ass off? This dude had a fucked up life and laugh your ass off. But I'm supposed to take it because I'm a comedian and I'm giving it out. But if I turn it around and pull you into it, it's a problem. Which is a fucked up place to be. You know, funny is funny to me, but I get it. You know, I get it. The world has changed and we have to adjust. But I do believe the comedian is the next wave of the real news. After the real news, the comedian takes the real news, we convert it, we take it into our bodies, we reprocess it, give it back to you in a manageable form. Some people don't want to hear the real news. It's too fucking depressing. They'd rather hear a comedian's take on the real news so they don't have to deal with, they got enough shit going on in their own life. They don't want to hear the real fucking news because it's so fucked up out there.
Or the real news itself has its own take and its own angle.
That's
you don't
it.
really want to be.
Some people don't want to hear that. Some people don't like real news. I know people in my family who do not watch the real news because there's too much bullshit going on. They rather just, you know, turn on late night and hear the late night guy, his take on the world, because it's a easier. He'll still say, "Oh shit, that happened today." Wow, but the late night guy's take on it, it's a toned down version of the real news, and the comedian's toned down version of the real news, which is more manageable for some people if they got a lot of shit going on in their own goddamn life.
I think, next question.
Hey JB, big
What up?
fan. I was just curious if you had a favorite Leon episode. I mean, I watched a 10-minute YouTube video the other day of best Leon moments. I think I would have to settle with Danny Duberstein as my favorite episode. I wanted to know if there was like one or two maybe that were your favorite that you were in.
Oh man, there's so many of them, man. I love the Danny Duberstein. I think that was brilliant to have him play a character who play a dead man's character. There's something funny about Leon taking on that guy and playing that character, and working with Michael Richards was interesting, and that was a great take. You know, Larry found a way to make that a smart scene without, you know, he had to have Michael Richards in the Seinfeld season. You know, even though he went through his problem in the comedy club, I think he did it a smart way. You know, there was no pressure on Michael, and you know, I think allowing Leon to be, you know, that take of Leon, the scene before that when Leon said he never seen Seinfeld, he didn't know who the fuck these people were. I think that shit was, to me, was the most defining moment in that episode, because something funny about who's this guy right here? Oh, that's Jerry, and who's she? You know, that's Lorraine. Hey, you do my Seinfeld? Man, I've never seen that shit in my life. You know what I mean? Something funny about him never even hearing about fucking Seinfeld that made me laugh, because, you know, that take on it. You know, before the scene started, I'm sitting there like, how the fuck am I gonna do this scene, right? I said, oh, I got it. I'm gonna pretend Leon don't know what the fuck a Seinfeld is. I think that's a funny take on it. Yeah. And he was like, who's this little motherfucker right here? That's Newman. Like, oh, that's a funny little fat motherfucker. You know what I mean? There's something funny about, it's something really genuine about him not knowing anything about Seinfeld. You know, the rumor about black people that never watched Seinfeld.
Was it weird doing those scenes with Michael Richards and addressing that stuff? Did you talk about it beforehand?
You know
at
what?
all?
I'm gonna tell you something crazy, because I used to, I mean, I did physical comedy, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. I used to be the biggest Michael Richards fan because he was tall like me. He was
Problem child. No, because of Seinfeld.
But he was tall and lanky like me. I would do all these physical jokes all the time on stage, and he did physical jokes. And I remember seeing him on this TV show called Fridays. A lot of people don't remember Fridays. Fridays was like SNL, but it was their version of it. Let me tell you something, man. That dude used to have me in tears. Like, I said, this dude was the funniest fucking physical comic I've seen in a long time. And
He still gets me on Seinfeld when I watch it.
oh,
Like,
it's fucking amazing.
yeah.
Oh man, if you get a chance, Google that dude on Fridays. Man, he had some funny shit on Fridays. So I was a big fan, you know, and I felt bad for him when it happened to him in the comedy club, but I was a big fan. I thought he was freaking hilarious, and I used to love him. And working with him wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad moment, you know. He rolled through it. You know, I know he went through that, but you know, it's kind of hard being a comedian, because with comedy, I mean, what do you do with your influences? I mean, what do you do with them? Do you erase them? You know, if you looked up to somebody and they got in trouble, you know, what if that inspiration they gave you just went away, and that no longer became a part of your mind, of your development as a comedian? You know, like me, I used to fucking love and live by Bill Cosby. Love them, fucking genius. Watching this shit like, God damn it, man, I wish I could be that fucking good one day. Be that candid, that fast, that. Imagine if all this shit that's happening to him, because of what he's going through, imagine all that shit just goes away.
I will say
Everything about him that you liked about him, and the influences, the timing, the things you took from his style, and you added to yourself. What if all that shit goes away? Isn't that crazy how you get in these positions where things happen to people, and you gotta wonder, like, fuck, what's my take on that? You know, what if all the inspiration, all the things I loved about him that I inspired for my own self, just gets erased? That'd be crazy.
it's a controversial feeling, maybe, but I think that as awful as the things that Bill Cosby did and has done, and I think he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Him in his prime, the art transcends the man. Bill Cosby himself, I can actually still. I watched it recently, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take it because I have very little respect.
It's a hard place to be, yeah.
But then I was watching, I was like, no, like just the craft is so mind blowing and
You're sitting there
special.
like, you can't believe like someone's mind could work like that, And that's how I feel about a lot of the comedians. But we also got to put.
That said, what Michael Richards did very, very, very different than
Yeah.
Cosby. We should separate those two completely.
We got to separate them too. But I'm just saying in general, But also you got to look at what a lot of famous comedians have done to themselves. You know what I mean? That means that we are overlooking drug use. We're overlooking battery and all the things that some famous comedians have been through. Do we overlook that stuff? Because it didn't affect you directly, or it does affect their kids and their kids' kids and their ex-wives. It does affect them. It fucks their family up. But do we overlook that kind of stuff? So it's a hard life. Comedians. There's a dark side to comedy, and that's why they have that. That's why we have this term where we can take drama and turn it into funny. We have to have that. In order to be relevant and be relatable to people. So it's a hard place to be. Yeah.
Well, JB, I love when you come here, man. It's so fun to talk to you. The book is fantastic. We love you. We love you on Curb. We look forward to the rest of the season. Everybody pick up the book. It's in stores right now, right? The Book of Leon, Philosophy
The Book of Leon
Fool.
is available in hardcover. It's also available on audio.
Uh-oh.
So you can be on the train with your earphones on. Let me get in your ass like I get in Larry's ass. And it goes from, the range of the book is a lifespan. So it goes from what I call the first chapter is Peepees and Johnsons, all the way to Kaput.
JB Smoove, everybody. Let's hear it.